here at the 2010 OneMedForum in San Francisco. I'm now joined by John Cousins, the CEO of Biomoda. John, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Bill. My pleasure. Thanks.
My pleasure. I guess probably the best way to start this is just a brief overview of Biomoda.
Well, Biomoda is a diagnostics company. We're developing a lung cancer diagnostic based on a proprietary compound that we have. It's a porphyrin compound. It has an affinity to bind with cancer cells, and it glows red under ultraviolet light.
Okay.
We're developing cancer diagnostics.
Okay. Well, let's expand more on that technology platform, the SciPath assay. How does it work, and where are you currently testing it?
Great, thanks. SciPath is our trademark name for our lung cancer diagnostic. And we started with lung cancer because it has the most dismal survivability rate. But it'll actually work on any cancer cell. It binds to cancer cells and it fluoresces red under ultraviolet light. We're doing a lung cancer clinical trial right now. We're finishing up our phase 2 clinical trial for lung cancers. We've been screening veterans for lung cancer in New Mexico. And actually, our clinical trial is embedded in a screening program. We're actually screening veterans for lung cancer, funded by the state of New Mexico. We got $1.6 million to do that. So we've been able to subsidize our clinical trials with this screening program. And we're just about finished up with our data, and we're comparing it to CT scan, which is the radiology standard of care, and to PAP, which is the cytology staining standard of care as well, and then comparing our SciPath assay to those results.
In areas outside of lung cancer, can this technology be used to detect other kinds of cancers?
Good point, Bill. Yes, it can. And as we finish up our phase 2 clinical trial and begin our phase 3 for lung cancer, we're going to start to do some validation, our phase 1s, on other cancers. Breast cancer using a ductal lavage technique, cervical using the cervical brushing technique, colorectal with a stool sample, bladder cancer with a urine sample, circulating tumor cells with a blood sample. We hope to have a portfolio of a half a dozen to 8 cancers, the highest markets, within the next 3 years.
Excellent. Okay, with phase 2 now coming to an end, when can we expect to see phase 3 trials and even a PMA filing?
Well, we are finishing up our phase 2 in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We've actually met our endpoints with our high-risk cohort. And we wanted to, our study designers who are quintiles, what we designed it for was, our endpoint was to get 6 to 10 asymptomatic lung cancers identified out of a high-risk cohort. 20 pack-year smokers is the high-risk cohort. We've exceeded that goal, and now we're collecting our positive control set to do our statistical comparison to. We'll do that in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Then we'll start submit a pre-IDE for our phase 3 to the FDA. That'll take 60 days. They have to respond, and then we'll start our phase 3. We've already identified our multi-sites, all the different sites that we're going to work on and things, and so we're ready to go. So we'll start that by the end of the first quarter of this year, and we will anticipate that we'll finish it by the end of this year and submit our PMA. The FDA has been running about 9 months on PMA Class 3 approvals, which we're going for. So we're expecting that we will have our approval in the third quarter of 2011.
Excellent. I guess just kind of as a recap, from an investor standpoint, what kind of milestones and major catalysts, including what you've just mentioned, could an investor expect to see in the rest of 2010?
Well, the big ones are as we move and expand our screening program to other states. Right now we have a bill on the floor in a state that looks like it's going to expand there, and several of the states are very interested, so we're going to expand that. Also our clinical trial data, our phase 2, finishing that up. We've expanded our positive control group, so we're going to get statistically significant results at a clinically significant superior level to PAP, which is the cytology standard right now. That should happen within the next 6 to 8 weeks. So in the next 2 months, we should see an expansion of our screening programs, and that means revenues, that's government contracts, and the completion of our phase 2 clinical trial and the publication of that in a peer-reviewed journal.
Fantastic. Again, thank you for joining us, John.
Thanks, Bill. Pleasure.
My pleasure. Again, that was Biomoda. For more information, they trade under the ticker BMOD. You can find more information on their website at biomoda.com as well as at OneMedPlace.com.